Star Wars Galaxy's Edge review. Travel to a galaxy far, far away. iMore. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there is the planet of Batuu, inhabited by various humanoids, Wookiees, and other aliens at the Black Spire outpost. The area is under. This is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the new Star Wars themed land that just opened up at Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California on May 31, 2019. Just as a reminder, honestly, with the reservation system that Disneyland put in place, everything in Galaxy's Edge went as smoothly as possible, and it was not as chaotic as I thought it would be. If you have a after getting our wristbands, we had time to kill, so we rode Star Tours to get even more hyped for Galaxy's Edge. However, if we got to the entrance about 5 minutes prior, since we trekked from Tomorrowland to Big Thunder Mountain before they told us where to go. The initial crowd. Once you enter Batuu's Black Spire outpost, you'll forget all about Earth and Disneyland. This is the most immersive. As you walk along the entrance path, you'll be surrounded by beautiful trees with sounds from the expansive wildlife that can only be found in Batuu. Just past the Rebel ships, the start of the marketplace will become visible. Here, for Savi's workshop, you need to pay for your ticket before you're allowed inside. The experience. And while waiting for my spot for Savi's workshop, we decided we want to go on Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. Since it was only as you weave through Onika Transport Solutions, you'll find various boxes of cargo, scrap metal, tables of cards, and other miscellaneous bits from ships. As you get closer, everyone in your group is assigned a role: pilot, gunner, or engineer through the use of colored cards to determine groups, and the job is on the card with a description of what that person is supposed to do. Pilots will navigate. The enjoyment of Smuggler's Run is determined by your role. Piloting can be. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is meticulously crafted, down to every last bit of detail. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is a must-do while you're in Batuu. The entire There was still some time before I was allowed into Savi's workshop, so we needed some food. Ronto roasters. We grabbed a delicious Ronto wrap: roasted pork, grilled pork sausage, peppercorn sauce, and tangy slaw wrapped in a pita when we needed to refuel, and it was quite tasty. I washed that wrap. Once we were done eating roasted meats, we headed back to Savi's workshop to wait for my appointment with the other visitors of Batuu. The lightsaber building experience is one of the coolest parts of Galaxy's Edge. Once you get inside, in Savi's workshop, you'll have your own workstation, and guests that are in your group that haven't bought their own lightsaber are welcome to come in and watch you build. You can choose between. To make the entire Galaxy's Edge experience as immersive as it can be, the cast members have been trained to remain in character at all times, and they play their parts perfectly. Everything else besides Galaxy's Edge disappears, and the cast members take their character roles seriously. When you ask the workers near Savi's workshop if this is the place to buy a lightsaber, they'll hush you and respond with, "You." Again, once you get into Galaxy's Edge's Batuu and Black Spire outpost, then you will forget about Earth and Disneyland. The land is so our time went by fast, and even though we got 4 hours to explore Batuu and Black Spire outpost, it wasn't enough to do everything we wanted. We didn't have enough. It's quite jarring once you're done and leave Batuu to go back to Earth and Disneyland. I can't wait to check out my photo gallery below for more pictures of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Lover of coffee, food, video games, writing, and photography. I've been writing.
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. I keep fucking on your bitch, yeah, that.